Well, what's going on, guys? Billy Davidson here, Davidson Pressure Washing, Hammond, Louisiana. Want to do a little bit different video here. I don't even have a script to go by, so I'm just kind of talking, ad-libbing this. Right here, we're pressure washing a compactor area. It's a dumpster pad, if you will, where a place that processes food and serves food and things like that have a lot of trash. And anytime they put it in a compactor area or a dumpster pad, they need to have this pressure washing cleaned up periodically, usually once a month. We do probably 8 or 10 a week. I used to do a whole bunch more, but I have some other contracts that pay a little more. So I'm not exactly out there just killing it in the dumpster pad world. But years ago, I used to do 20 or 30 every weekend, and it brought in a tremendous amount of income, especially when times were slow. That reoccurring money was so important for my business. And like I just said, years ago, I would do 20, 30, sometimes even 40 in a single weekend, and it was exhausting. But like I said, it brought in that reoccurring money. It was money I could count on. It was money I could pay my business insurance, my workers' comp, have a couple guys on payroll. And it didn't leave a whole lot left over, but it kind of covered the fundamental basis of running my business, my shop, the electricity at my shop. You know how it is, all the chemicals you use. And, it's still a good thing to do even in 2023 moving forward. I train guys doing this all the time with my training course. If something that you're interested in, there'll be a link in the description and the first pinned comment below. But nonetheless, wanted to talk about how we cleaning some of these things. I found this chemical. I've been using other degreasers. Sometimes I would use Dawn dish soap, which works really good. But I found another chemical. We're going to talk about that in a minute and how we dilute it and how much easier it makes and how much you can spend on or expect to spend on this chemical. There'll be a link in the description as well of this chemical that we're going to talk about here shortly. This dumpster pad or compactor area that we're cleaning also has led us into a lot of other work at this facility. As you see, this is a loading dock that they also have at the same facility. A lot of food comes in and out of this loading dock. And as you know, cases get dropped of food, people dragging out the trash, you get drinks spilled, the trash bags break, food gets on the ground, they try to sweep it up, but over time it leaves that buildup. And the chemical that we're going to talk about also works really good for that, especially if you're going to be using a surface cleaner. And again, we're going to kind of go over that chemical and how I dilute it, because I found out if I read the instructions, it says to use it 100% straight. But I found another ratio that works just as good, and you can use less of it because it is kind of pricey. But as you see this loading dock here, we do the loading dock once a month whenever we do the compactor area. So that's an additional add-on. This loading dock, I'm getting $275 for it, and we only spent about 35 to 40 minutes on it. I probably spent $10 in chemicals. So it's a great upsell. And again, it's reoccurring money, so it's real important to my business. And like I said, I'm doing about 8 or 10 a week. Some weeks we do 8, some weeks we do 10. We kind of alternate. We're doing some Five Guys, some Starbucks, some other little coffee shops. We even do a couple of these credit unions like banks where they have 20 or 30 employees in there, and they have a break room, a refrigerator. A lot of times the employees leave food overnight and it gets tossed out when it gets spoiled and goes into the dumpster area. And over time, about a month and a half, it needs to be cleaned, because this is a real big magnet for bugs, insects, rodents, birds. And keeping it clean not only holds down those insects and pests and bees and everything else that can get in there, those rodents, but also it helps with the smell tremendously. In addition to that, it makes a little bit better work environment when one of the employees do walk out into this loading dock area or into the compact area or into a dumpster pad area, because they have employees that go dump the trash every 2-3 times a day. And if it's not all greasy and slippery with ants and roaches and rats running everywhere, it makes a much more cleaner work environment. So we upsell to these businesses. Sometimes we advertise straight to these businesses that we can clean their dumpster pad or the compact area, because we know that it's going to lead to other work on the premises, such as like this loading dock or such as parking lot striping, because we're going to come back and repaint these fire lanes at some point in the future as well. So all of that kind of builds into having a reoccurring contract with a facility, which could be incredible, especially going into the winter months or even in the middle of the summer when times are slow. Kids are going back to school. These businesses still have to have this done. And if you're doing a lot of residential pressure washing, that's great. But also sprinkle in some commercial work. And also, more importantly, sprinkle in some reoccurring contracts, because there again, this work is guaranteed. That check's going to come once a month. You can pay some bills out of it. You can kind of plan ahead, get some equipment that you need, especially if you're using some type of credit, whereas a business credit. These reoccurring contracts is real important to build business credit, obviously. So that's one reason why we do it, and it keeps my guys busy, especially if they're looking for some extra work here and there, because we do stay busy with the parking lot striping, but sometimes my guys want to work an extra Saturday or something. I was like, hey, here, go do these 6 dumpster pads, go make you a few $100s. I'm not going to necessarily go do it, but if they want to go do it, that's great. Make some extra money, and we all make a little extra money. So that's where dumpster pads is a really good upsell. It gives you an opportunity to upsell that customer for other services on that property. And also I've noticed with dumpster pads, cleaning these dumpster pads and loading docks, it's an easier threshold to get business into that particular company because it's a lower ticket item. We're not talking about thousands of dollars here, but it gives you an opportunity to build a relationship with that customer and then give them a list of services that you can provide, whether it's parking lot striping or seal coating, pothole repairs, curb repairs, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, window cleaning, you name it. The list can go on and on. All exterior maintenance does apply to these situations. So guys, I just want to also talk about the chemical that we're using. The chemical I found that works really good in dumpster pads. Again, we've used degreasers like Purple Power, Gold Assassin, even Simple Green, and it works pretty good. But I found this other chemical called One Restore, and I'm about to tell you exactly how I mix it that might can save you some money. The One Restore label does call for using it either 50-50 or either 100% straight. Now, it will get kind of expensive because it's a couple $100s for 5 gallons of it. But we found if we mixed it 50-50 in a bucket, so 50% One Restore, 50% water, that's it, nothing else, and then downstream it. But the trick is to let it dwell for about 20 minutes. I know it's a long time for dwell time, but it's saving you a ton of money. So you can throw it down with your downstreamer, then go do something else. Let your, maybe go wash a sidewalk or whatever you're doing. Take a break. Let it sit for 20 minutes. And that One Restore with about a 20-minute dwell time, mixed 50-50 in the bucket, plus you downstreaming it. So you're really reducing it even further. 20-minute dwell time works wonders. Give it a try. You'll thank me later. I promise you. Well, guys, anyway, I'm Billy Davison here with BillyDavisonVIP.com. If you need some pressure washing training or parking lot strap training, check out the first pinned comment below or the description. And I hope to see you in the next video.